Uh, Hello, subscribers, patrons, family, fans, followers, supporters, and generally anybody who happens to stumble across my videos. This is Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only, and it has been a while since I've streamed. and yeah, it's been like a pretty confusing day or like time for the last couple of weeks. And oh my god, I'm such a freaking moron, a technical idiot. Um, just a quick story of what happened. As a lot of you might know, I purchased a new laptop with an HDMI port in order to utilize whoops, this new display tablet that Ruri Hashino had purchased for me in exchange for some commission work, which I'm almost paid up on, so that's awesome. So, but as it turns out, I didn't need to get a new laptop, and this just shows how like untechnological I am. Because my old laptop, I thought it only had like a dedicated like a VGA monitor connection, and that's the only port I took notice of. But there was a DP port, a digital. Shoot, I can't even. A digital port that I didn't know was for display. So when it came to light during a recent stream on Picardo, some of my more tech savvy followers and supporters had pointed it out that all I needed was a very simple DP to HDMI dongle adapter, which would have made it unnecessary for me to buy a whole new laptop. So here I am working on the new laptop again. I got the DP to HDMI dongle, and now I'm utilizing this freaking awesome display drawing tablet that again Ruri Hashino had purchased for me. So again, I can't thank her enough. So thank you again, Ruri Hashino. You're an awesome lady, and I think I'm falling in love with you. And yeah, it's true. So anyway, yeah, those were the recent events, and I'm gonna go ahead and return this new laptop. Unfortunately, I can't find the receipt. I think I must have thrown it out with the I had a recent cleanup in order to like set up my workstation again in order to put all these components together and just make my workspace a little more comfortable to work on. So yeah, I must have thrown it away during that cleanup in order to rearrange everything. But the room's a little bit cleaner, but hopefully Walmart can look up the credit card transaction and just take the laptop back and then reimburse me for the amount that I spent on it. And yeah, it's been pretty embarrassing to know like, oh man, the solution was so simple. But anyway, all that aside, let's get down to this suggestion art stream. And in order to give my thanks to the person who fronted the money for the DP to HDMI dongle, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing the suggestion that supporter had given in my support channel on my Patreon Discord server. And the character he had suggested is the Walking Dead video game character Clementine. And so I saved a couple of references for her, and just I'm going to go ahead and start sketching her up. So anyway, I think this is enough of my face for now. There we go. So let's get started. Oh, while I still have this other laptop, I may as well pull up some music on it or something. That way I don't utilize too much of my CPU or power on this laptop. So let's play around with some sketches. Oh, and before I do, let me go ahead and just show off like what I've been working on for Rui Hoshino. I think this is this one of no, this isn't one of them. This is like an extra commission, but this is what I had done earlier today, and this is almost finished. And like my workflow with this tablet is just is just so fast now, and it's awesome. But like I tend to slow myself down with like showing these extra or like drawing these extra details. Like I tend to like just get really in there and just start drawing like these like little frills and everything. But still, like it's awesome because even though I'm drawing like a bunch of details sometimes, I'm still drawing it faster than I would have compared to my other oh, my little brother is asking me to show off the I guess show off the tablet. Let me. Oh shoot, that's. Oh my god. That's too big. I was using this camera setup earlier to show off the display, but anyway, here it is. Yeah, here's the tablet. Freaking awesome. Yeah, so fucking sweet. Anyway, back to this, and let me see. Gonna pull up some music. Just oh wait, oh I can't play music in the background because freaking YouTube will flag it. Shoot. Never mind then. Okay, so my little brother says, show it off, show it, show me. Oh, sick. In reference to my face. JK, that's so cool. Skullhead says, hey, JB. My little brother says, order pizza Saturday. Yeah? Order pizza Saturday because my little brother's on the way. Oh, you're pulling my chain. Skullhead says, huh? Clementine looks different than I remember. Oh, I'm just showing off like what I've been doing with this little tablet. And this is like a sketch I did early this morning just to kind of warm myself up. And it's been a while since I've drawn any Cream the Rabbit material. So went ahead and drew that. But I'm going to go ahead and start, let's start getting started with this sketch. Don't play with me, little brother. Are you really on your way? Who else is coming? Because if you're serious, I will order pizza. If you're gonna come visit on Saturday, sure enough, I'll order a pizza. It'd just be me though. Well, hell's yeah, you got my phone number, so if you're really coming down, give me a call. Let me know when you're close, and I'll place an order for some pizza. And then I don't know, like we can go hang out and watch a movie or something. Hell, that'd be fucking sweet. That'd be fucking sweet. Anyway, let me get down to sketching. Now the character of Clementine, I kind of thought of like come on. There we go. It might be acting slow because of some of these other things I have open. Yeah, I think that's all right. So I'm going to do like a rough sketch of maybe a pose I had in mind earlier. Excuse me. All right, little brother. Just give me a call. Let me know when you're close. Oh man, I can't wait to freaking take a ride in your Mustang. I remember mom, dad, and sis like rode your Mustang all the way to Pahrump, Nevada, in order to visit me in prison. And then after our little like television visit, because they could only like visit me through like a TV monitor and a phone hookup. After that, like we all had to get rushed outside for like another prisoner transport. So we were in the yard, and I was just like checking out the parking lot, and then it's like I see this car off in the distance in the parking lot, and I'm thinking like, I wonder if that's my family. And then I hear like the freaking recognizable rumble of a Mustang just like fucking revving up and then just driving away. Just it's like, oh yeah, that's my family. So it'd be pretty rad to like get to ride in your fancy Mustang. Oh, you're not bringing the Mustang? Damn. Oh well. Oh, little bro, I might be getting approval to move back to the res sometime this month. I don't know when it's going to happen, but Dad should be getting a call of when the inspector or like the federal agent's going to come by to like approve the mom and dad's place for me to reside in. So yeah, that's gonna be freaking awesome. Okay. Oh, they're waiting for him to come by? He's already called? Well, I guess he's been trying to call Dad for a while, but like I accidentally gave them the wrong number. I was one number off. I guess he's been trying for a while, but he's definitely going to come by sometime this month. Oh, he hasn't called yet. Okay. Well, that's what I'm told. Like he's gonna be in the area sometime this month, maybe even later this month, and he's gonna take a look around and approve the place for me to move in. My little brother says you can actually play music searching up free non-copyright music. Yeah, I don't know about that. And my little brother says he's gonna see my pit bulls and run. I guess referring to the federal agent that's supposed to come by. I hope I'm not coming in too laggy. Video output low. Jeez. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Well, that sucks. Not sure if I'm liking this pose. I'm gonna start like another one. Kind of wanted to do like a somewhat of like an action pose or something where she's like kind of sneaking around this world of this world infested with zombies or walkers. Nope, I do not have a TV, little bro. Damn it. My Photoshop is starting to get a little lag. There we go. Cool. I'll order some pizza. We can watch some YouTube. Maybe later on go check out a movie at the Dollar Theater. How long are you gonna be in? How long are you gonna be in Vegas, little bro? Hmm. Maybe just the day or another. Depends. Well, I was thinking if you're gonna spend the night, like, we could probably hit up a karaoke bar. Wait, are you old enough for that? You're in college, so I imagine you are. Shoot. I'm a terrible brother because I don't know how old my other siblings are. For the most part, we're all 5 years apart. So, Dina, Soraya, Dylan. I think you're just about there, but I don't know for sure. Ah, shoot, I thought so. It's like, okay, we're all we're all about 5 years apart. There's sis, little sis, then Dylan. So that's about 15 years. And I'm 35, and so that would make him either 20 or 21. So you're 20. It's close. You're close, so close. Yeah, I don't know of any other karaoke establishments that don't. I don't know of any karaoke establishments that serve anyone under 21. Oh, there's Cal Larkin. What's up? Yeah, I think I'm liking this second pose a lot more. Tell Telltale Games. That's the company. I was trying to think of it earlier. It's like I wanted to say what it was at the beginning, but I couldn't remember the company's company's name. Telltale Games. Telltale. That's hard for me to say. Telltale Games. Telltale Productions. It almost sounds like, to me, it almost sounds like I'm just saying tell twice or tail twice. Telltale Games. Telltale. 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 I'm getting it. All right, we'll check you later, Dylan. Good luck with your homework. Or whatever assignment it is. I assume it's a college assignment. Night, little brother. Cal Larkin says, wide awake. I crashed when I got home today, so I'm going to be awake forever. Well, you don't have to say it anymore because the company bought the farm. Oh, damn.
I did not know this. That's news to me.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and go with this second pose and just build on this one. Oh, man. My little brother's going to be driving up to Vegas and visiting me on Saturday, everyone. Holy shit. I'm going to clear my schedule that day. Not that I had much of a schedule to begin with, you know, being unemployed. Weekends are meaningless. I'm just going to do what I do every day. Try to take over the world. We're gonna do what we do every day. We're gonna do what we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Think I'll go with Dead-Clementine. Okay. I'm gonna get a pizza for when my little brother's gonna come here. And oh shoot, I'm thinking of either getting a pepperoni, jalapeno, and I guess a pepperoni and jalapeno pizza, or I should get the pizza that Rory Yoshino had turned me on to. But then I don't know what my little brother's tastes are when concerning pepperoni, or I mean pizza. Has he ever tried a barbecue pizza? Cal Larkin says, all clementines are good choices, to be fair, or to be frank. to be funny. Titty butt fuck. And my Photoshop is slowing down again. There we go. Oh, wait. I remember I set up my friggin' little keys on the tablet. I've been using them all day. Ryuji. Ah, finally, not a lewd art that I can watch on my PC, which is in the living room. I wouldn't speak so soon, Ryuji. I'm just working on the base frame right now. And there's Concept Sama. He says hello. Oh, is Rui Hoshino still around? Rui Hoshino, are you there? Concept Salmon says, loot it! Loot it to the max! I intend to, my good sir. Maximum lewd. Hey, Rui Hoshino, thinking about playing a little bit of that music that you gave to me. Of your musical abilities. That's not copywritten, right? I'm sure you're used to an audience. So it's not copywritten. I can play it then? May I show you off a little bit? Oops, that's the wrong button. Shall I take that as a yes? All right, I'm going to play it. Where did I put it? In my music folder, of course. Where's my music folder? Don't worry, Rish, you know, it's going to be great. Let me see. Musics. There it is. No, wait. Or did I put in my downloads? Oh, yeah, my music folder is just filled with all my random stuff. I think I kept it in my downloads. Just so I could easily find it. Oh, excuse me. I know they're here. Oh! I hope this is one of them. Wait. Is it this one? Okay. I'm going to try this one. I'm not sure if it's one of them.
Whispers of a nameless fear that haunt you every night. You close your eyes and listen to the wind.
Yes.
Day it turns to night, leaves blowing in the breeze, swirling past the open window, rustling through the trees. Sleep now, my weary one, your time is drawing near. Light may be dying, there's nothing more to fear. Tears on your face paint a picture of life's past. Dreams have been erased, but the memories are the ones that last. What's a memory when you're standing by my side? We're holding on to what we've got, what we can't put deep inside. The time will pass, and only time will tell. Try not to shed a tear and release the strongest spell. Life's flame is burning down, darkness closes in. Cold night air now surround, but the warmth is still within.
Ah, nuts.
Fate is dealt its hand. I wish this fate was mine. I know that when you're gone, you'll still be with me all the time. Rest now, my weary one, your time is almost here. The candle may have burned away, your path becomes so clear. The gleam in your eyes accepts the faith is cast. Dreams have been erased, but the memories are the ones that last. What's a memory when you're standing by my side? Holding on to what we've got, what we can't put deep inside. The time will pass, and only time will tell. Try not to shed a tear and release the strong cell.
Nice. Ooh, excuse me. Had to burp and cough at the same time. That's just crazy.
What's a memory when you're standing by my side, holding on to what we got and what we kept for deep inside.
Time will pass, only time will tell. Try not to shed a tear, now released from the spell.
Released from the spell.
Sweet. Next one. Yeah. Fucking awesome. I like it.
The value rising, the light is dying, the darkness of you, the ring of sound. Blood is boiling, the air is spoiling, the taste for vengeance has consumed our souls. Memories fading to black, killing the fires in this world we took back. Victory in our hands, death knows no fear. We are the keepers of the lands.
Next one.
Silence of the
And those are all the songs that Maria Shino gave me. I wonder if I should feature this song given to me by somebody else. What's wrong, Maria Shino? Your friggin' guitar work is... Oh, man. I love it. I want more music from you, Rudy. Right now. Give it to me. Right away. Do it. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I just want to play those songs because I still listen to them from time to time. Because you're freaking awesome. Don't be too embarrassed. If the UK doesn't burn down in the next few weeks, I'll see what I can do. Nice. Awesome. And don't you dare burn down the UK just to get yourself out of this. Okay, I'm gonna play like a song that I am yet to be commissioned to animate a music video for. Now this is like someone who I met in the federal system, so we're both like ex-felons, but he's really appreciative of all of my ability to animate, and he really wants to collaborate with me. And I guess I should be drawing as I talk about this. He recently got in contact with me, and he's asking me to take down a lot of my videos pertaining to my crime and my offense and everything. And he's saying that as long as I didn't touch a kid, like nobody gives a shit about like like everything I have to say about my offense, which I really do appreciate. You know, like a felon talking to another felon about that. And like his felons, like his felony was like all gang related and everything, and for someone like that to just like state like, hey, you didn't abuse any children, so like no one really gives a shit, like you paid your debt to society. And I feel in a way that I really do appreciate his comment, him coming from the world he came from, and then just telling me that like more or less he doesn't care what my offense is. But at the same time, I don't think he really understands where I'm coming from when I make videos such as that, because my debt to society is never going to be paid in full, because I'm going to, the way the system is set up, I'm going to be paying this debt for as long as the federal system feels is necessary, and they just want me to stay in this system forever, which is why I was given like lifetime supervision thanks to an erroneous pre-sentencing report to a fucking cunt, or from a fucking federal cunt whose name is Sandy Schmidt, over judgmental bitch who based a lot of her conclusions on conjecture and her own assumptions of my character. Fuck that bitch. Anyway, but this guy, like I appreciate where he's coming from, but I don't think he really knows like a lot of the bullshit that I have to deal with. It's like we both have different charges, and even though like he believes I've paid my debt to society, and I don't have to do what it is I'm doing, it's like I have to disagree. But anyway, this is the song that he wants me to do an animated music video for, and I've already done like several like character designs for him, and he has a couple sons that rap with him also, and they're also featured in this song, and he's asked me to do like character designs for him and his sons, and just wants to start making some animated music videos. And this is I may as well play the song, so here we go.
By any means, I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scary. My hands is on 100. I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scary. I push the line when I grind. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scary. It's the licks, baby. It's the licks. I'm never scary. No rapper without evolution. I'ma use this mic as a pulpit. I'ma turn the hood into smoothies. The mic point tell police new shit. We all know Malcolm X try to do it. Assassination that snake, but they knew it. Gotta move like the super behind the door. Fuck boy, investigate, try to pinch it and prove. By any means, never scary. Visionary, evolutionary. I'm the Nat Turner of my generation. With choppers the size of a Yeti. Blue bands, black banks, the branch managers text me. I wish I hated wood, try to check me. Take K, his body to confetti. Passport to the airport with a PJ. Now in the pool, gotta catch me. By any means, never scary. Revolutionaries. Go hard, push line from June to January. By any means, I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scary. My hands is on 100. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. I push the line when I grind. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. It's the licks, baby. It's the licks. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scary. My grind is legendary. The trap's house, the sanctuary. I see the bigger picture cause I'm a visionary. Keep all my plans for show, no Hail Mary. Everything is cash and carry. Play games with my money, disciplinary. Actions will be made. Torpedoes move like the military. Think outside the box, extraordinary. You'll never know my itinerary. Never front or fake stunt, that's unnecessary. Fictionary, imaginary. These niggas is junkies, fairies and flunkies. In the feds, my bunkie was a millionaire. Told me don't care how they feel about you, think about you, talk about you. That's how you end up in here. Determination and motivation. Keep these haters hating right on time. They them clouds that block your shine. So I make it rain on myself till I'm self-made, well paid. My mind, body, soul, and bankrollers all upgrade. Hands on 100, so I welcome all fans. By any means, by any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scary. My hands is on 100. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. I push the line when I grind. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. It's the licks, baby. It's the licks. I'm never scared.
Get it by any means. Like what is an enemy? Niggas soft in the inside like jelly beans. Riding my wave is gon' sink you like submarines. We shaking shit up like a tambourine. I'm infatuated with the better things. Even with a million, I'm not settling. If you're not talking that, what are you telling me? You mad cause I came up and I got my change up, but I did not change up. I'm still in the same stuff. I'm just sticking shit up at my own pace. Speaking down on me, get on my damn face. If you're not talking proper, don't say shit. I'm still running around with the same kid. DJ Xation, we global. New kids on the block and you own new stripes. We mixing your shit up like Pro Tools. No, we not rocking with you like some old shoes. I'm powered up, feeling like Goku. Flame hot and real spicy like soul food. Why is you talking to me like I know you? If you're not family, I am not social.
By any means, I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scary. My hands is on 100. I'm never scary. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. I push the line when I grind. I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scared. By any means, I'm never scary. It's the licks, baby. It's the licks. I'm never scary.
Yep. I am to animate that song sometime in the near future. Things have been kind of like a rough startup because he's also running a business on the side, and he's been having issues just like getting it stable, but he's getting to the point where it's he's getting it stabilized, and he wants to jump back into this whole like rap music video thing, and he wants me to animate these music videos, and I'm down to do it, but I need to get in a more stable environment. Yeah, I enjoy me some rap music every now and then, and yeah, I like his stuff, and he's a pretty good character too. And for him to call me up and just kind of more or less to tell me like he doesn't care about my offense or whatever, I that makes me feel great. But at the same time, it's like him stating that I've repaid my debt to society. He has no idea like all the fucking bullshit I have to put up with. So he is completely unaware that the federal system was willing to throw me back in prison over a matter of my own fucking drawings. So I'm still livid about that. I'm never gonna let that down. I'm never gonna let that go. So for his offense, like fucking, let's say that a judge had given him like certain things like, oh well, you're not to be affiliated with any gangs or drug paraphernalia, and we're gonna take like we're going to throw you back in prison for anything that seems to represent that. So let's say he got caught with a T-shirt featuring like a weed symbol. It's like, oh hey, you were caught with a T-shirt representing like marijuana, which is against the law. So we're going to throw you back in prison. I feel like that would be like a pretty similar equivalent to all the bullshit that I had to go through. It's like fucking, hey, we told you weren't allowed to possess any pornography, but even though the judge gave you leeway to draw pornography for financial purposes, we're going to go ahead and violate your probation because you're in possession of your own drawings, which we allowed you to make for financial purposes, and throw you back in prison over a matter of your drawings. So, yeah, he doesn't know that story because us being federal inmates, and it was like as if you're in the federal system, you never let another fed know what your offense is, otherwise you face like certain risks. So I never bothered telling anyone in the halfway house once I got there like what my offense was, because fucking it's only been a few years when fucking people were beating up or like seriously or mortally wounding like friggin' sex offenders. Shit, it was only back in 2015 that I heard about sex offender getting stabbed in front of a friggin' soda machine at the halfway house. So Yeah, and it was another sex offender who had to clean up all the blood. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. Cal Larkin says, I also indulge in the psycho mod. Yeah, he doesn't understand. I wish you could get a good lawyer. Even if I could get a good lawyer, there is no lawyer who would defend a sex offender properly the way that they want to be defended. William Espirito, this is the first time I'm seeing that name. If you draw a highly detailed penis, is it a crime? After all, is a drawing. After all, is a drawing and is erotic. Yeah, if I draw a fully erect penis, they'll throw me back in prison. Because I'm not supposed to draw or be in possession of anything visually sexual or pornographic. So if I were to draw a fully erect penis or nude breasts or female genitalia, they'd send me back to prison. That's what they already did. They sent me back to prison for 6 months for drawing porn, of which they had allowed me to draw for financial purposes because I'm a pornographic artist, and I had already gotten that approval to draw porn for money. But then my piece of shit probation officer for the first go around was such a fucking overly religious, judgmental asshole whose name is fucking Stephen Goldner, fucking son of a bitch, Cro-Magnon chimpanzee motherfucker, had me sent back to prison over something I was approved to fucking draw. Son of a bitch. And right now, I don't dare draw any pornography, even though my current PO, well, like, she's very clear that I'm not allowed to draw pornography whatsoever. It's like fucking all of them can just, god damn it. You know what? God damn all of them. Oh God, well, we're gonna oppress all forms of your sexuality because that's what the law says. Fuck them, assholes, sons of bitches, motherfucking pussy clown dildos, pieces of shit. God, I gotta finish my political rants, finish scripting them, and then animate them. Present my arguments, get elected to president, change the laws, and have all these fucking judiciary people, political people who have willingly and knowingly violated or transgressed against the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and just fucking have them all purged. Legally, of course. Of course, I got to change the laws in order to do so. Strip away their impunity. Put in laws that make it okay to purge any public official, political official, or policing authority who willfully and knowingly violates or transgresses against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and just fucking fucking purge them. I guess purge is a hot topic issue. Execute. Have them executed for their un-American transgressions against the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That's what I'll do. But first, I gotta get elected president, fucking change these laws. And then, once that's done, start sorting and rounding them all up. That's gonna fucking take a long while. That's really gonna cut into my drawing time. No, Majorcan King, executing is not a bit too much. Because think about it. All these assholes and lawmakers who make these frivolous laws, they're tearing apart so many families, and a lot of them, they fucking die as a result. Either through suicide or violence in prison just because of their charges and all that fucking bullshit. There are a lot of people in prison who don't need to be in prison because they criminalize behavior, but like, yes, like illegal actions should be criminalized, but behaviors shouldn't. And when I say that, it's like fucking like the war on drugs is a classic example. Because like they're criminalizing addiction, which is criminalizing an illness. So when they do that, they just needlessly tear apart friends, families, support structures, and ruin the lives of these people for X amount of years over what? Just a simple like behavior that they seem or that they believe is outside of their norm, so they want to criminalize it and punish people for that. And because of that, the American prison system is so overrun or just filled to capacity, or even more so because of all these frivolous laws. And when you boil it down, some of these laws just overextend or transgress against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but then they pose them as a benefit to the American people or the protection of society. But then that's all just fucking bullshit, because when you give up your freedoms for protection, you don't deserve freedom or protection. And we gotta fucking bring it all back to like a simpler state of mind, to where we gotta tear things away from this whole systematic enslavement of American society. So, because things are the way they are, mostly based on the corruption and the systematic enslavement of American people, the people responsible, these elected officials, lawmakers, and judicial chairs and policing authorities, the people who are responsible for these transgressions against the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights, should all be rounded up and then fucking executed for those transgressions, for those overbearing, unconstitutional transgressions against this country. And I wholeheartedly believe that is the only way you can drain the swamp of corruption that is so prevalent in American politics. And it would serve as a very good deterrent for anyone who wants to do more of the same. Because like a lot of these laws are based on these like overbearing morals, which I believe are based on religion. And that's the reason like fucking our forefathers were so adamant on separating church and state, because a church ruled state or country is something they were trying to escape from. And nowadays, our country is just deterred, or not deterred, just deviated so far from that original concept that a lot of the laws that we have now are just based on like these freaking morals from all these lawmakers and politicians who base their decisions on their own personal religion. And that's, I believe, is a violation on the main moral ethics of what this country was founded on, because it's supposed to be a separation of church and state. But then when you base some of your decisions to rule the people on your religion, you should be fucking ousted out of office right then and there. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Because, like I said before, like a lot of these laws are based on these morals, and these morals are fucking coming from these over religious politicians and all that fucking bullshit. I mean, fucking leave your religion at the door. Because things like morals and behavior should be taught, not enforced. And then when you start enforcing them, you come to a state where we are right now, where fucking like the prisons are fucking overrun because like things like behavior are criminalized and enforced by the law, and it's fucking just total just bullshit. So all these assholes who are guilty of those transgressions against the base founding properties of this country, and transgressions against the Constitution and transgressions against the Bill of Rights, ought to be rounded up and then executed systematically for all their fucking bullshit. And yes, Johnston Blackhorse for president. I will do that, because that's the only way you can drain the swamp of corruption so prevalent in our system right now. And that's the only way you can deter all this fucking assery that's going on. Not only like just political corruption, but friggin' corporate lobbyists and all that corrupt bullshit. Anyway, yeah, that's didn't mean to go on that political rant, but then when Majorcan King says like executing may be a bit too much, like no, it's exactly what we need. All these corrupt assholes who enjoy the hypocrisy of impunity from the law need to be taught a lesson. We need to rip impunity away, find out all the fucking bullshit that they're guilty of, and all the transgressions against the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights have to be sought out and fucking brought to the public eye, and then all those fucking hypocritical assholes need to be fucking put to rest. And that's the only way we can have a fair government that is for the people, by the people, and all that wonderful stuff that this country was founded on. Because nowadays, we have gone off on a completely down and out, far off tangent from where we're supposed to be as a country. Home of the free, land of the brave. Fucking, yeah, we sing those praises all the time, but it's just fucking bullshit nowadays. I mean, like, we call ourselves home of the free, but yet America imprisons like more people per capita than the whole world combined. And then we call ourselves home of the brave, but yet we have so many laws just based on fear. Because like a lot of these laws are based on the potential or intent to cause harm. They're not based on like if you actually cause any damage or harm, or just any thievery, or just like any actuality of an offense where someone actually causes or commits a crime. They're based on, oh, does somebody have the potential to cause a crime? Does somebody have the potential to cause harm? Do they have an intent to cause harm? Well, if they have any of that, we better throw them in prison right away. And that's preemptive incarceration for a crime not committed. And how fucking insane is that? That's fucking pre-crime, pre-thought fucking bullshit. Oh, god damn. It's been a while since I've gone off on a rant like that for a while. Fatal Error says, I get how you feel, but I think a round of executions is a rather inauspicious start to a fair government. No. It's going to be a completely fair government. Fair to its citizens, but not government officials. Because government officials get away with too much bullshit. They want to criminalize the citizens, but yet government officials may commit the same crimes, yet they serve little to no time for it. Case in point, there was a recent Arizona lawmaker who resigned from his position because it came to light of his previous crimes of possessing child pornography and sodomizing young boys. So, for the crime of this previous Arizona lawmaker of possessing child pornography and sodomizing young boys, he only served a few months probation for his crimes. That's the bullshit that can't be tolerated. I mean, okay, child pornography alone. He only served, like, let's say he only had, like, child pornography. He only served, like, a few months probation for that. Whereas a regular citizen can serve 5, 10 to 20 years of prison. But this guy served only a few months probation. So, with that, pile on top of that, like, not only did he have child pornography, he sodomized several young boys in his past. There is no justice in this injustice system. I mean, it's fucking crazy. So, like, all these people, all these governors, these senators, these judicial officials, these elected public officials, they have to be reminded that they're not better than anyone else. They're not above the law. And in order to illustrate that even further, we have to hold the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights sacred in this country. More sacred than the religious texts that a lot of these stupid, freaking over-frivolous, overbearing laws are based on. So if they're found guilty of transgressing against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, they ought to be executed outright because they're held up to the higher standard because of the position they were elected to hold. And if they willfully and knowingly transgress against the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the rights of the citizens, they ought to be ousted and freaking executed outright. And I believe that's the only way that you can drain this swamp, this current swamp of corruption, and it would serve as a deterrent for these fucking greedy assholes not to fucking do fucking all this stupid corrupt shit, not only for profit but for their own personal gain and sexual purposes. Because, like, fucking how many conspiracies have popped up lately over all these senators, elected officials, and public authorities who are that are possibly guilty for these sexual crimes or these other crimes that any average citizen would get 10, 15, or 20 years in prison for, but yet all they have to do is resign or just even get like a few months probation. It's fucking asinine. We gotta tear away impunity from these high-level authorities, because even though they may be authorities, they are not above the law. Anyway, I keep going on this rant. Let's see. Cal Larkin says, compromise will have to be made. It could see transgression having severe penalty, but I doubt many people will be in favor of death. Nope. We got to go death all the way. Death all the way. For these people for these high elected officials who make all these decisions for the citizens, if they're caught in a position where they willingly and knowingly abuse their authority, it's they gotta be gotten rid of, you know. But of course, the laws have to change beforehand and before that can take place. Fatal Error says, I agree that we need sweeping prison reform, though. Definitely. Cal Larkin says, death is too good for some. Possibly, but that's where I'm aiming for. Christina Petrov says, NSA joined the chat. Probably. Concept Summer says, makes sense. Christina Petrov says, well, you're right, to be honest. I'm not American, but I've seen LNO, SVU, and American justice system is pretty bizarre. Yes, it is. It's fucking total overblown bullshit. Majorcan King says, see, can we talk about lolies? Christina Petrov says, death by loli. No! Death by loli is too good for any of these assholes. Loli snoo snoo. Cal Larkin says, I'm being real here. Politicians will have to vote on this, and you think they are enough good politicians to agree with penalty of death? Well, if you elect me president, I'll force it in there. I can be very persuasive. Of all the good eggs, I'll get them together and we can decide this, and systematically we'll force all the bad eggs out bit by bit. And it would be a very simple process, but somewhat time consuming. Majorican King says, good politicians wouldn't agree with that, LOL. Politicians maybe, but if I can get the citizens behind me, just fucking vote that in, force that in, just fucking make it happen. Especially if I can go in and expose each of these corrupt politicians at a time and just fucking lay all their sins to bear. What else can you do after that? Christina Petrov says, what? Lowly Free Squad? Lowly Fire Squad now? It's like, no, lowly enforcement or whatever. Majorican King says, the Prez can't just force bills. Carl Larkin says, checks and balances, bro. Majorcan King says, lowly Fire Squad me, please. Christina Petrov says, would love to get shot by a cute little lowly, would actually pay for it. Yes, checks and balances and all this stuff, but systematically, I believe if I root out all these corrupt politicians, elected officials and everything, and lay all their sins to bear, like there's gonna be some significant reform after all that takes place. I mean, just expose the corruption for what it is, because you know a lot of it's being hidden. And then after that, I can have free reign to just fucking enforce all these policies and laws and all that shit. So vote for Johnston Blackhorse for real freedom and liberty and true justice. Because the way the system is set up now, all these corrupt politicians and public officials, they've all had their cronies put in seats of power, like judges and senators and all that stuff, who would all argue for them and manipulate the judicial system in a way that these freaking people got away scot-free or got off with a slap on the wrist for all their transgressions, not only against the citizens, but against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. What has to be done first and foremost, that the government has to have like a friggin' full and transparent policy to where any elected official or government authority has to have all their sins to bear against, well, for everybody to see. And fucking, I'm willing to go above and beyond and just circumvent any due process or whatever, find out all the dirty laundry of all these fucking assholes and just release it to the public. And yeah, I know that would like circumvent or like negate any sort of like due process law or whatever, but then when the people see these fucking dipshits for all the fucking bullshit and assery that they're all responsible for and willingly did and knowingly did in an attempt to just fucking do it for their own personal gain and profit, thinking that they can get away with it, then fucking there would be some serious and legitimate changes to the law and how the government is run. And that's it. You know, I mean, like fucking just expose all these officials for what they're guilty of. Straight out. I mean, all of my sins have been laid to bear. Like, fucking, what do I have to fear? Elect me president and, like, fucking, I'll take each and every, like, person who's, like, fucking taking money under the table from all these corporate lobbyists and all this dirty money and all this fucking bullshit. And then just fucking find out who's connected to who and how they got their friends elected to positions of authority like judges and senators and all that stuff, and just fucking expose it so everyone can see the fucking spider web for what it is out in the open, and just fucking give me free reign to just take all these assholes down and put people in positions of authority who actually deserve it. Not people of money, not people of corporate greed, but possibly just average citizens who have a good heart and good sense to just make this country better, not just for their own personal profit or gain. I mean, that's where we're fucking like, that's where things started getting corrupted. I mean, like fucking, it seems to be like only like people of high standing or deep wallets or fucking like who come from money, who get to go to these schools, who are bred into these positions to become senators, public officials, judicial authorities, and presidents, and like fucking, it's all happening under the nose and the eyes of the average citizen who can only afford like an average education and who isn't bred to become someone of a high standing, but who's only taught to be like a follower and become like a civil servant of some sort. So, yeah, vote me president and I'll fucking shake it all up. I'll expose everything. Anyway, the chat's been going on for a while. Concept 7 says, sounds good. I only see one problem. Majorca King says, those chip eating sounds are making me damn hungry. Christina Petrov says, nom. Another technophile says, Supreme Leader Blackhorse. Yes, I will rule with an iron fist, but Rest assured, the Iron Fist will not fall on the citizens. The Iron Fist will only fall on government authorities. Concept Summon says, "No, I think it's cool." Christina Petrov has fries and what is this face? Open mouth face. Cal Larkin says, "Death by dull axing." No, 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 no. You're close, Cal Larkin, but I believe we should have a more modernized version of the guillotine. And hear me out on this. I understand that the guillotine may be the most gruesome form of execution, but I believe it to be the most humane, because every other form of execution, be it death by firing squad, death by hanging, death by lethal injection, death by electric chair, each have their own flaws in which there is too much suffering. But a clean and precise decapitation by guillotine, I believe, is the most humane. Even though it's the most visually gruesome, I believe it's the most humane form of capital punishment. And not only that, but it also offers the opportunity for organ donations, because I've riddled them off right now, like death by firing squad, death by hanging, death by lethal injection, or death by electric chair. Like, all these forms of execution damage the body, like a lot of just beyond repair. But death by guillotine, like the harvesting of the organs or organ donations still serves a purpose, because all it is a clean cut to the neck, severing of the head, and you still have the organs available to donate to people who need them. So I believe, like, death by guillotine may be a more advantageous execution, not only to the person suffering it, but to the possible people who might need those organs afterwards. That's where I'm coming from with the whole, like, I'm okay with decapitation, but like let's run it like this, and let's not no rusty blades or anything. Everything has to be done like in like sort of a medical sterile precision type thing, to where the person suffering capital punishment doesn't have to suffer so much, and afterwards the body can be utilized either for science or to harvest organs to donate to people who need, like, a new heart, a new liver, new lungs, new kidneys. I mean, the benefits are just right there. Still catching up to the chat. Cal Larkin says, okay, death by dull axing, rusty dull axe. Like, I already explained, like, no, not that. Oh, Wolf's Back says, what about a spoon? Christina Petrov says, he better go full cartel on them. No, I'm not doing that. Another technophile says, basically dox the politicians. Christina Petrov says, he's eating. Like, Christina Petrov says, like, Cal Larkin says, death by skyscraper type. No, absolutely not. Christina Petrov says, oh no, he gonna collect heads. Totally. Well, not literally collect heads, but it would bring literal aspect to the fact, like, any government official who willingly and knowingly transgresses against the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights, well, like, heads will roll, literally. Another technophile says, what about replacing their oxygen with carbon? I have no idea what that would do. Cal Larkin says, well, that implies the person would be an organ donor. It's like, no. Like, if you're a government official who's been found guilty of transgressing against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you get no say-so in if you donate your organs or not. But let's say there's a age cutoff period. If you're older than a certain age, like say, I don't know, 30 or so, like when your organs are just like, let's say out of date, then you just get cremated afterwards. But if you're not older than 30, like if you're not older than the cutoff date, then your organs will be donated regardless, because you're a government official, you transgressed against the American people, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. You get no say-so on whether or not you're an organ donor or not. So therefore, if you're an un-American government official who transgresses against everything American stands for, you get no say-so on whether or not your organs are donated or not. But let's just say that that is your final form of repentance. That is your final form of recompense for your dickery, your bull-assery, your fucking overgeneralizing, fucking overbearing law system that you propagated. And yeah, it's like you get no say-so. But if you're over a certain age, then you just get cremated and scattered to the wind, or just fucking mixed or redistributed as cement, which is like a recent idea that I came up with. And let's see, let's keep going on. Christina Petrov says, organs get damaged by lack of oxygen. He needs those organs. Yeah, so no replacing oxygen with carbon. Christina Petrov says, just steal their organs. No, it's like all going to be done legitimately. Like fucking if you're a government official, like I said, who willingly and knowingly transgresses, then you get no say-so. You don't have to steal them. It's like they're up for forfeit. If you're a government official who willfully transgresses, your whole body is just up for forfeit. It's not like they're going to complain if I take their lung. Just take it, bro. Concept Summer says, why don't you get a cell with butt boo-boo? Why don't you get a cell with butt boo-boo? I don't know what that means. Hentai Tentacle says, Blackhorse, you're a fantasist. Possibly. Christina Petrov says, Tentacle, you have fun. Christina Petrov says, hate. Hentai Tentacle says, I believe is fighting battles he can win. Hentai Tentacle says, the American people would never elect a convicted felon, especially one for sexual crimes. Even entertaining the idea is a waste of time. It's also a waste of effort. I don't believe so, Hentai Tentacle. I'm just going to go for it. Why not? Christina Petrov says, your point. Hentai Tentacle says, you need to learn how to game this system. Nah, I'm just going to go for it. I mean, just fucking go balls to the wall. I mean, if the American populace has been so stupefied by reality television that they elected a reality television star in order to become president, I believe I have a shot. Anti-Tentacle says, I support you, Blackhorse, but it's about learning to use the system. No. First and foremost, I have to gain the approval and, well, I guess I gotta gain the public's attention. And the only way to do that right now is to start making these PSA animations and just fucking lay out all these plans and ideas that I've relayed in this current live stream. These are ideas that I haven't talked about in full. Like, I've alluded to them, but I haven't talked about them in full until now. I may have glazed over some details in the past, but just really, yeah, this is where I'm really coming from. But these are ideas that a lot of people haven't heard before, but these are ideas that are necessary in order to have like real legitimate change in our political system, our social structure, and our way as a country, in order to get back to the grounding fundamentals on which this country was based on. Christina Petro says that girl is never going to get completed. Probably not. Cal Larkin says the left has regressed far too much. That's why Trump is in office. Another technophile says, take the system from the outside with an army of lollies and tanks by the Capitol's door. Oh, no. Cal Larkin says, basket of deplorables. Majorcan King says, LOL. Yeah, this drawing is never going to get done. I'm only going to finish it after my presidency. Okay. Let's keep working on this. It's been a long time since I've ranted like that. Hell of a long time. So if you want to keep your personal freedoms, if you want to keep lowly legal, if you want me to legalize marijuana, decriminalize drugs, then vote for Johnston Blackhorse. Oh, I'm going to legalize prostitution too. Prostitution and gambling. Yes, blackjack and hookers. Cal Larkin says, Clem deserves better. It's my fault, lol, I enabled it. Henry Tentacles says, there are ways around the laws and you have to fight the system from within. No, I'm just going to take the whole thing over. Cal Larkin says, blackjack and hookers. Like, totally. Hentai Tentacle says, your best choice was always to fight your conviction, or rather the terms of your conviction on the grounds of it counter avenuing the First Amendment. Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, fucking, I can't fight it on my own. I have to find a lawyer who knows the law. But there is no legitimate lawyer or any lawyer who would like fight for a sex offender against a sex offense. That's the thing. That's why all this fucking, these laws have to go. And like fucking, it's fucking bullshit. So if I run for a president who advocates for an easier law system or just like a less punitive law system, I have a better chance of doing that because I can't do it with a fucking goddamn lawyer who won't fucking fight for me. Sorry, I'm yelling. So I hear where you're coming from, Hentai Tentacle, but it's just fucking bullshit, really. Because you say that, and it's easier said than done, because no legitimate lawyer or any lawyer worth his salt is going to want to fight for my rights to just fucking draw whatever it is I want to draw, even though he doesn't agree with what I draw. And even though he knows that they're just drawings, he's not going to fucking advocate for that because of his own personal pride, and he wants to keep his standing against his keeps his standing among his own personal judicial peers. So yeah, Concept Summon says, I don't like the idea of prostitution. You might not like it, but then at the same time you don't have to fucking engage in it. Though you might not like an idea, it's your personal freedom to either engage or not engage. So the people who want to engage in prostitution may do so, but if moral busybodies don't want to engage in an idea, it's not their right to dictate how other people should live their lives. So, you don't like the idea of prostitution, you don't have to engage in it. That's it. The people who want to do so, or the people who want to sell their bodies in exchange for money, are free to do so. Christina Petrov says, we must protect the future of our lolis and dope. I guess I'm down for that. Yeah. No, I'm totally down for that. Drum, lolis, and dope. We got to protect the future of that. Another technophile says, the rant reminds me of Senator Armstrong. I don't know who that is. Christina Petrov says, I see when you did... You see what you did, Tentacles? I don't know who Senator Armstrong is. Is he anything like President Camacho? By the way, I'm gonna BRB because I got to take a leak. Okay, I'm back. Check out Metal Gear Revengeance Johnston. Wait. Oh wait, that's my. I thought it was like, check out Metal Gear Revengeance Johnston. There's a Metal Gear game with a character with my name in it. Like, no. Oh wait, he's addressing me. Metal Gear Revengeance. I guess I'll check it out. Concept 7 says, Senator of Texas, Nanomachine's son. I have no idea what you guys are on about. Image size, let's just go with 150. Man, I went on a fucking long ass freaking political rant. It's been so long since I've done something like that. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, but vote me as president and I'll be sure as hell to drain the swamp. Because I'll fucking execute him. After I change the laws, of course. And I'll figure it out. Even if I have to twist some arms or nipples. Ah, shoot. My Photoshop's not responding. Okay, there we go. Oh, jeez, what's up with this? Okay, there we are. Hope I didn't turn too many people off from my political rant. But these are thoughts and ideas I've been thinking about for freaking ever. And it's been a while since I've let them out. Usually I keep my drawing streams just strictly drawing because I've been planning on making like political videos in which I can outlet all these ideas, thoughts, and yeah, just generally unload all this stuff on a public platform. Might have to re-watch this video after it's uploaded, just to write down some of my thoughts and ideas, because it's like probably the first time I've really talked about them out loud to a public audience. But I do have to admit, this has been like the most active stream that I've had in a while. I mean, these are like some of the most watchers I've had. And it's weird. I guess should I apologize that even though it's like the most watchers I've had, that it took place during one of my crazy political rants. Well, not crazy, but just heated political rants, because it's been a while since I've had one of those. But sure enough, like fucking things in this country have to change, and they show no signs of doing that lately. We expect someone to rise up and just take care of the issue for us. And we expect whatever public official we elect into authority will do us good. But lately, that hasn't been the case. So, should we stop electing like political officials who have been bred into these seats of authority, who've been raised in order to take these thrones of power, and just elect an average citizen? Not only an average citizen, but a freaking convicted felon? Hey, Nelson Mandela was a felon. He got elected president. So there might be hope for me. So, hell, why not? After all the shit I spouted, like fucking, I don't believe it's fucking bullshit. These are things I legitimately want to do. Change these laws and just fucking take away the impunity from all these public authorities who think they are above it. And make them suffer for their crimes against the American people, the Constitution, for their own personal gain, profit, and all that stuff. I mean, we see it in like court cases a lot of the time, where the police, the judge, and the prosecutor know they have the wrong guy for a particular crime or murder, and then sentence him to death, even knowing all the facts that they legitimately have the wrong guy. I would call that tantamount to murder for profit or personal gain. So all the assholes responsible for that have to be expunged. Because they willfully and knowingly manipulated the system in order to I guess convict someone of that crime and mark that tally in their books, or just put another notch in their belt. Them assholes need to pay. So fuck impunity. Oh, my little brother's back. He says, shit's gotta change. Yeah, totally shit's gotta change. Christina Petrov says, other politicians will throw dirt at you because your art and attraction / or like people will turn backs no matter how liberal they claim to be. You know what? I think as long as I reach out to the public, to people like you, and I believe there are more people like you who would support me in my ideas and in my endeavors in order to change the laws, change the system, and make it more fair to the citizens, in order, or to the point where public officials, judicial officials, government officials have to bear everything to the public in order to make them trust them. Because as it stands now, the government hides so much from the citizens, but yet telling them at the same time that they can be trusted, but yet they just there's just this constant veil of deception. So vote me in office and I'll take away that veil of deception, expose everybody for who they are, and then only put people in these forms of authority and power who are really there to help the people, help the citizens, and who are not only there for greed to earn money from corrupt corporate lobbyists and just taking bribes here and there in order to just fucking elect their friends or cohorts or cronies into positions of powers just so they can get away with corrupt shit. So as long as I am completely forthcoming, and that's how I've been from like day one, ever since I got out of prison. It's like fucking like, this is who I am, this is what I did. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And as long as I continue to be like that, like fucking I've got nothing to hide. And against all my opponents who run for president, it's like fucking every one of them, I believe, has a certain degree of corruption that they're just keeping from the public. So if elected president, you know, like fucking, I'll have a full transparency policy from every government official, from the FBI to the NSA, through any branch of government. It's like everything about them will have to be exposed. And if they are found guilty of transgression against the citizens of America, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, they're going to have to be expunged. That's it. Another technophile says, what's been said so far hasn't been the most radical I heard. It's clear spoken and has broad appeal. Sweet. Because, you know what, like, I don't want to consider myself radical, because I'm not out to, like, fucking get vengeance. I'm not out to, like, cause mayhem or hurt innocent people. I'm presenting these ideas and want to do this retribution or gain some sort of recompense from this corrupt system in a systematic way. And the only way to do that is to do it in a step-by-step process by changing the laws and taking away impunity from those who don't deserve it, such as these public authorities and officials who just utilize it in order for their own personal gain or greed. Hand Identical says, convicted sex offenders have to often be protected by anonymity because when the public find out about them and where they live, it is common for them to get beaten of their houses burnt, etc. Well, I've been pretty public and like open about it to people online and everything, and like fucking nothing's happened to me. Like, if anything, like I did receive a lot of like hate at the beginning and a lot of death threats at the beginning and just like calls for my suicide, but then slowly but surely that all subsided and just fell to the wayside to the point where it's non-existent. But I'm about to yet achieve like a new level of exposure if I do come out with this whole like announcement for my bid for the presidency via making all these PSA animated announcements and just like my ideas and thoughts to change the system and make a more fair and better place for the American citizens and just keep these government officials in check. And I know I'm going to be facing a lot of hate speech and ridicule from that. And I think that has been the major deterrent for me just making that step forward. But slowly but surely, I'm just like inching forward. And I hope to have another productive animation here pretty soon. I've already got a script written up. Although it's not complete, it's still pretty rough. I still have to like clean it up and then start animating it. Majorcan King says mass murder does not have mass appeal. No, it's not mass murder. Like mass murder is, it's illegal. These are government sanctioned executions for people who are found guilty of transgressing not only against the American people but America as a whole, against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And these are documents which should be held sacred above all else in this country. Well, I say sacred. Sacred is just a misspoken term on my part, because sacred falls in line with the whole it oversteps the bounds of the separation of church and state. So instead of sacred, it should be held in higher regard than anything else in this country. So therefore, these aren't murders, they're government-sanctioned executions. And Identical says, I'm sorry to pour cold water on your idea, but you win battles by knowing how the system works. The people not accept the minority of people in society who like your art. Don't worry, Hentai Tentacle. There's going to be enough said and enough argued to the point where my my offenses and my art won't even freaking matter when compared to the actual violations of against the actual violations of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights perpetrated by those who are running against me or who are proponents against my message and what I stand for. Another Technophile says, would you consider Digibro as your vice president? I don't know who Digibro is. Henry Technical says, I'm a big follower of your art, but I know for a fact that I wouldn't tell my friends or family or anyone in society lowly art is not accepted, and society is the majority of people wish violence lowlis. Well, listen, Hentai Tentacle, the basis of that mindset is unconstitutional in itself, and that has to be made clear to the wide populace of the people. And I'm not coming from a whole sex offender standpoint alone. I'm talking about just every standpoint. Just everything that a lot of these laws are based on the criminality of behavior. When America started criminalizing behavior, they based those laws on a sort of religious standpoint, but yet again that violates the whole separation of church and state. Things like behavior should not be enforced, but it should be taught and nourished. Things such as criminal actions wherein an act of violence, an act of aggression, and an act of thievery, things of these natures, these are going to still remain criminal actions, But then when you take behavior into account, that's where we get all these stupid, frivolous laws which overcriminalize the American people and the citizens of this whole country. Because as it stands now, we have so many laws, we are so inundated with laws because of the criminalizing of behavior, that everyone in American society is either a felon or a potential felon. That is it. There is no in between. And that's where, I can't remember what text it comes from, but there's a text that says, like, show me the person and I'll show you the offense. Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Henry Tentacle says, Cal Arkin says, I see your point, Tentacle. Henry Tentacle says, I think your effort would be better put into fighting the terms of your conviction through the... Like I said, Henry Tentacle, there was no one willing to fight on my behalf. I'd have to fight it alone, and I can't do that alone because no one would consider me a valid proponent for what I'm trying to fight for. And it's such a fucking legal dogma that a lot of my legitimate arguments would just be thrown out of court because it doesn't coincide with their personal beliefs or the legal beliefs of what has already been substantiated throughout all of these offenses. And they would just use like legal precedents to say like, oh, well, this has already been more or less proven in this other legal precedents, of which I do have a valid argument against, but then they wouldn't see that in a totality of that thing because they base it on subjugation versus, what's not subjugation? What's the word? It's similar. Oh no, they gauge it on subjective ideology rather than objective fact, and that's why like fucking like I see what you're arguing, but like fucking the way the system is set up now, it's not going to work. The way I'm talking about it, that's the only way I can friggin' approach this thing. I've already tried to approach it in a way in a legal matter, but like fucking everybody shot me down because they said I don't have any argument. Because like fucking they don't see my argument as an argument, they just see it as a ranting of a madman of some sort. And Henry Technical goes on to say by saying it's contravin. What are you trying to say? By saying it contravin the First Amendment. Contravin the First Amendment. Unfortunately, you won't have your conviction overturned, but you could get the terms of the sentence changed. Like I keep saying, Henry Tentacle, they won't listen to my arguments because the way the legal system is set up now, they do not admit fault once they fucking close a case or just convict a case. And anyone I approach who might see my line of thought, they keep like steering me towards somewhere else. And I've already tried some of these other people, and they will not tarnish their reputation or tarnish their reputation amongst their peers for fighting for a sex offender or fighting for like or against a sex offense. Jesus fucking Christ, Henry Tentacle. How many times do I have to fucking say it? You're the one with a pipe dream. It's like, I admit my ideas might be a pipe dream, but like we're arguing like sort of like it's like a pipe dream against a pipe dream. But I do believe my pipe dream has more validity to it, because what you're saying is like, oh, you have to trust the system and utilize the system in order to work for you, and it's just fucking bullshit. It doesn't work. Dylan Lansing says contravene. Oh, that's the word. Cal Larkin says, keep in mind we're lagging being you are vice versa. Henry Tentacle says, I'm just saying your time would be better spent learning the law and perhaps representing your... No. Learning the law is just learning like all the intricacies and all the loopholes and all the ins and outs and all the backwards talk and all the hypocrisy back and forth and this and that. Where in all actuality, the whole legal system has to be torn down to concentrate more on the actual offenses rather than let's see, what's the term? The whole legal system has to be torn down and rebuilt in order to focus on practicality over principality. The way the legal system is set up now, it's focused more on principality rather than practicality. So in principality, they send people to prison who they view might be a detriment to society. Sure, they still sentence people to prison over practicality, people who actually commit a physical and first-hand offense, but then they send people to prison over principality when they feel like, oh, this person might commit an offense and he might be a detriment to society, so let's throw him in prison. So your argument is just moot, Anti-Tentacle, because they've already found me guilty in a principality sense, so they feel that they are justified where I am right now, even though in a practical sense I haven't fucking done anything. I'm just saying your time would be better spent learning the law and perhaps representing yourself. I've read your court case. Note, by the way. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you read my court case. So, like, I'm guilty of downloading some images. Oh my God, oh no. But here we have, like, people who commit hands-on offenses, who commit rape, who commit first-hand molestations, who only serve, like, a few months in prison or a few months probation, whereas me, who only downloaded some images, served a couple years in prison. Cal Larkin says, behind you. Technophile says, ever get legal advice from CBLDF only, like, sent me to, like, the fucking... Oh, shoot, I can't remember what it was called. ACLU or something? And ACLU just fucking sent me somewhere else. And it's just like a fucking whole fucking circle jerk because none of these assholes want to be a proponent for, like, anything that might be considered a sex offense. So fucking fuck these assholes and these pieces of shit because they just gave me the goddamn runaround. Anti-Identical says, with your permission, I'll post a link here to your court documents. Oh, yeah, sure. It's like, yeah, I'm guilty of one count of, like, fucking child pornography possession. Technophile says, well, maybe it might not help with your case. Which is why, like, I don't know why you're arguing, Hentai Tentacle, because it's all fucking moot. It's all fucking pointless. The way you want me to go about doing it the system's way when the system itself is just in and out corrupt. Because they're focused they're focused on principality and practicality. But yet, like, fucking, when you have those two together, it's like fucking, that's the state we are in now. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to argue. Excuse me. You can link it if you want, but it's like It's already all over the internet. You just gotta look up Johnston Blackhorse and fucking you'll find it. I don't know what the point is in trying to link it. Cal Larkin says laws is a business. Definitely it is. It's a corrupt business. And it's based on this whole prison for profit system. That's where it all went wrong. Back in the 70s, they started the whole privatized prison and prison for profit thing. And that's where we got the whole war on drugs. And that's where we got child pornography laws, because they started doing this whole like fucking laws that criminalized behavior over criminal actions. Well, not behavior over criminal actions, but they started criminalizing behavior, or I guess what they viewed as criminal behavior and criminal actions. And it's a whole prison for profit system that they set up, and that's where we got a lot of our overbearing laws and fucking just this whole corrupt judicial system that we have in place right now. Overbearing laws, prison for profit systems, and prison corrupt prison. What's the term? Corrupt prison lobbyists. There it is. All right, let's get back to the art. Hentai-tentacle, do you happen to work for the government or be related to someone who is in the government? Is that where some of these arguments are coming from? You keep telling me to go like work through the system, and I believe an argument like that would only come from somebody who works in the system or knows somebody who works in the system. Do you know somebody who's been through the legal process or who's been convicted of a crime? I guess maybe I should phrase the question in another way. Do you work for government, or do you know somebody who works in the government? Because the only one who seems to be telling me to trust the system and work through the system is you, which leads me to believe you either work in the system or know somebody who works for the system. And Technical says, no, I do not, and no, I am not affiliated with the government. Are you a Republican? Perhaps? It's like you have so much faith in the system. Technophile says, how do you do, fellow citizens? Dylan Lansing says, I'm sure he's just stating that you should try, but it seems like it isn't possible, but it's the only way to get about things legally. Legally, yes, but in order to circumvent that, I have to take control of the country. And in order to do that, I got to go about my wild and crazy scheme of becoming president. Henry Nichols says, I advised you how you could get around the current terms of your censorship on Picardo's stream 2 weeks ago. Well, it's not going to work, Henry Tentacle, with the way the system is set up. It's like they already view me as this over freaking demonized individual who's going to go out and molest or rape people and utilize my art in order to entice people into sexual activities when I've never molested or raped anyone in the first place. So how do you propose that I fucking fight against the system which is so dead set against me in the first place? And with you having all this legal advice and legal knowledge or what have you, are you a lawyer? Do you know someone who's a lawyer? And again, it's like you have so much faith and trust in the legal system that I still have to imagine that you are or you know somebody who's part of this either legal system or government system. Dylan Lansing says, could you remind me what the First Amendment was? It's freedom of speech. And along with the freedom of speech is the freedom of expression, and fucking the government violated my freedom of expression of art by sending me back to prison over a matter of my own drawings. And I've expressed this to several outlets and avenues legally, and they all fucking gave me the runaround, telling me to go this way and that way, and just fucking like I didn't get anywhere with it. Which leads me to believe that it's because I am labeled a sex offender by the federal government that no one wants to advocate for me. So where the fuck does that leave me? The legal system violated my First Amendment on multiple counts. Yet no one's willing to listen to me, and no one's willing to fight for me. So what the fuck am I supposed to do, Anti-Tentacle? Trust the system, go about the system, this and that, blah blah blah. I'm sorry to be so pissed off at you, but you just seem so naive. If you don't work for the system, if you're not part of the legal department, and if you don't know anyone part of the legal department, if that's the case, then you're just fucking naive. That's what I have to say about that. Cal Larkin says, art is subjective and it's a collective's interpretation of what art is, or what is art, so they can demise his art as not art. But art is in the eye of the beholder, and without taking a, I guess, general census of my peers, not peers that they feel that are mine. So fucking all they would do is just gather some jagoffs from the street who they would know or assume would be against me. That's all they would have to do. It's mostly what that questionnaire is about. That jury questionnaire. For the most part, they just want to find jury candidates who would vote guilty. All for the sake of their conviction rates. My little brother says, on a side note, drawings coming along pretty good. Thanks, little bro. Hope to see you on Saturday. Henry Tentacle says, okay, well, good luck with your president bid. I do not intend to make you angry. I enjoy your art. Well, I understand where some of your arguments are coming from. They just seem very ill-informed. I mean, I've been through the process. I've gone through it. I've lived it. And believe me, I've tried to go through several of these avenues and nobody gives a shit about a sex offender. Nobody gives a shit. Especially with the whole aspect of the American judicial system violating my First Amendment. Nobody gives a shit. ACLU, the fucking Comic Books Defense League, nobody. They just kept fucking passing me one off to the other. And I just feel like you're pretty ill-informed or very hopeful of the system. And because you're hopeful of the system, I assume that you're either part of the system or knew someone who was part of the system and have your full faith and trust in that the system works when it doesn't. And I guess it's your blind belief and willful arrogance of how corrupt the system is that just pisses me off. That you have so much faith and trust in this, and that you just advise me as like, oh, well, gee, you just have to work the system and go about it. I already tried that. And I got blocked at every turn. So fuck them, fuck the system. It all has to be redone from the ground up. And the only way I can think of doing it is just doing it this way. Even though I know it's radical, even though I know it's out there, even though I know it's a fucking pipe dream, it's my only fucking way of trying to fucking do things the way I need to do them. Not only for myself, but for my family, my loved ones, and people who are suffering from the same fucking bullshit that I'm going through. And for their family and their loved ones. Because it's not only just me, it's just for all this wide populace of people who just want to remain silent of all the fucking bullshit and dickery and corruptness and fucking constitutional violence that they have to suffer just because of the fucking shame and the stigma that they have to fucking live with. So you have no idea what I'm going through. You have no idea what my family is going through. And for you to tell me to trust the system and go about it the system's way, it is just fucking bullshit, because I've been there. I've been on the other side, and I've seen the corruption for what it is, and I've seen all these other people who have suffered with me, and a lot of them, there are just so many unconstitutional violations that you wouldn't fucking believe. And to tell them to just trust the system and go about the system's way, it's just no fucking way. They've already tried. They failed because nobody gives a shit about people who have been already labeled by the system erroneously in many of these fucking cases, because it's a whole prison for profit system. The government is corrupt, and nobody fucking gives a shit as long as their fucking pursuit of freedom isn't violated. And when it is, and they find themselves on the other side of that fucking barbed wired and steel grated and an electrified fence, that's when they realize that they shouldn't have trusted the system in the first place. And I've met some of those people. And the whole trust and faith in the system is just a fucking pipe dream. So I guess it's going to take my pipe dream to fight that pipe dream in order to tear it down and build it back up to where it's a fair system, to what it's supposed to fucking be. And that's why heads deserve to roll. That's why impunity needs to be taken away from these corrupt officials and lawmakers. That's why some of these decisions are tantamount to murder, tantamount to willful corruption and violation of the system for personal and profit gain. Anyway, back to the drawing. Cal Arkin says, so, watch any good anime lately? Well, I've been watching Kill la Kill, the English dub, on Hulu. That's pretty good. My little brother says, no, haven't really had the time. think that's enough detail on the back. Well, got to do the grip. Technophile says, tonight's theme song. What would that be? Trevor Moore's It's Time for... What? Oh man, I want to listen to that. Trevor Moore's It's Time for Guillotines? There's a song like that? Jeez, I want to pull it up if not for the possibility of getting, I guess, flagged? Like, I don't want to fucking get flagged for a song that's going to negate me from publishing this video and wherever that song gets flagged at. Because there are some songs that will negate you from publishing in countries, or there are songs that will negate you from publishing worldwide. Cal Larkin says, no, something weird like The Humans Do by David Byrne. Let me see. Let me find my headphones. Or maybe I can just play it real low on my other laptop before I return it. I have to look up this guillotine one. Time for the here I'm advocating for the guillotine, but I don't know how to spell it. Oh, there it is. That's how you spell it. Oh, where are my headphones? All right. Night, little brother. See you on Saturday. Looking forward to it. It's a good freaking song. Listening to the guillotine song right now. I had no idea there was a guillotine song. It's a good one too. Okay. Let's try this other song that Kel Larkin was talking about. Sorry, I'm not playing them out loud. I don't want to get marked by YouTube. Like humans do. Carl Larkin says, "Oh no, it's going to be a huge juxtaposition. Might be jarring." Too late. Already listening. Calorca says it's a very old song by a bygone era. Yeah, I get that. What should be my presidential anthem? I don't know. Let me see. Ah, there we go. Rob Zombie's American Nightmare. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. Like the sketch is more or less there. I will clean it up later on. I feel like there are a few things I ought to adjust. But once I make those adjustments, I will make this video available on my Patreon. And when I do, the Photoshop file will also be available. Cal Arkin says, good job, man. Thank you. I'm sorry the stream went on for so long. It's been 3 freaking hours and 9 minutes. No, wait. Correction. 10 minutes now. I just went on a long political rant and said everything that I needed to say. And a lot of these things I've been wanting to say, I've been holding back for a long time. But I will be advocating for a lot of these ideas and ideals in future animations in my bid for the presidency, even though I know that's a long shot. But fucking hell, if I don't say it, nobody else will. Because no one's got the balls enough to say it. But fucking shit, what have I got to lose, right? Cal Arkin wants purple panties on this drawing. Alterara Lynn, other than Patreon, who else I can find? Other than Patreon, where else can I find your art? Well, I have links in my description section. You can also find me on not Picardo, Pixiv. Is that link down here? It is not. I will link my Pixiv in this description after I sign off. So if you come back to this thing, I will link my Pixiv, and there you will find a lot more of my old art. Technophile says, art's been good, stream has been good, rants a bit iffy. Yeah. I guess I can't argue against that. Cal Larkin says, off topic, I have also lost my glasses. Oh no. Aren't we two peas in a pod? But anyway, hope you enjoyed the majority of this rant. Thank you to all those who participated in the chat. It's always awesome interacting with you people, even though we got on some pretty heated discussions on this rant. Like, I do feel like it's a pretty good outlet for me, because I've been keeping a lot of these thoughts and ideas and just aggression locked up on me for a while, but I do feel like it's beneficial for me to just like let it all out every now and then, be it a rant in real life or be it a rant online, and just kind of like lets these ideas flow and permeate along with the human conscious ether. So I guess as long as I'm willing to talk about it, like fucking, like I'm hoping people are willing to consider some of these extreme. Well, I don't think they're extreme. I'm trying to go about them. I'm wanting to initiate some of these ideas and everything, but I got to go about it a systematic way, other than doing it through a way of like either aggression or violence. Aggression and violence will take place later after it gets legalized. But anyway, thanks for all those who participated in the chat. Rui Hishino, my little brother, Dylan Lansing, Skullhead, Cal Larkin, Ryuji, Concept Sama, thanks for dropping by. Majorican King, Willian Espirito, Christina Petrov, thank you for popping in. Fatal Error, awesome seeing you here. Still scrolling through. Another Technophile, awesome that you could pop in. Hentai Tentacle, it was a pretty lengthy debate, but you dragged a lot of my arguments out of me, and I know where you're coming from, but again, I gotta say that it comes from a very trustworthy, not trustworthy, but a very not jaded, what's the word? I can't even think about it now. I know where you're coming from. You're coming from like the other side of the fence. I've been opposite of you, and I know what how the system works and what it's capable of, and I know you have a lot of trust in it, but believe me, there is little to no recourse for someone who is on the other side. And even though there are systems that is set up for it, there are just so many other rules and avenues and hurdles for someone to get out of the system, which is why the system is so corrupt and inept in actual justice and everything of that sort. Anyway, moving on. I think I already mentioned Christina Petrov. I think there was someone else here. Atarar Lin. That's the one I was looking for. So thanks for all you for dropping by. Always amazing interaction for you. So, and also thank you. Oh wait, let me put the camera on so you can freaking see me. Thank you for letting me rant. It's been a pretty interesting stream, and I know it's been a long time since I've streamed, and yeah, this one I feel is one for the books, not only for the art content, which I will fix up later and then post on my Patreon, but also for the rants. Like, it's been a while since I've ranted like that, and if you find value in it, thanks. And if you don't, then be a little more tolerant, you dipshits. Just, oh, geez, just kidding. I don't know, like fucking. I guess some of you would like call it like, oh, that's the kettle. That's the kettle calling the pot. That's the pot calling the kettle black. But there's something I don't like tolerating. It's intolerance and hypocrisy. Yes, I can't tolerate that. I can't tolerate intolerance. I can't tolerate hypocrisy. But anyway, enough of my political rants. So thank you for dropping by. If you like this video, then please leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, because even though I missed last week's video and I'm trying to make up for it this week, I do try to make a video on a weekly basis. So yeah, do all that good stuff, and probably going to try to make another video to compensate for last week, and then just make a video this week. So I'm going to try to do that sometime this week. So until then, I shall I shall check you all later. Sweet. Bye.